From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 7, streaming now.
COVID-19 restrictions are back in Indianapolis, and the greatest impact will be on local businesses and all Marion County schools. Thanks for joining us at 7. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starnes. You know, the surge in the pandemic means thousands of students will soon be headed back home for virtual learning. Today, Mayor Joe Hogsett made the announcement along with Dr. Virginia Kane, the director of the Marion County Public Health Department. The mayor says all schools in the county must return to 100% virtual learning no later than November 30th. That's the Monday after Thanksgiving. Hogsett also announced a number of new restrictions on businesses and social gatherings. He also says he wishes he could tell business owners that more money was on the way to help them survive the latest wave of the pandemic.
We absolutely should be announcing new business assistance programs alongside these business restrictions. Unfortunately, we have now gone 8 months without congressional action to provide relief to residents, businesses, and local governments.
And the mayor says he is hopeful Washington will pass a new round of COVID-19 relief now that the election is over. But so far, members of Congress and the White House do not appear to be close to doing so. The mayor and the health department announced a number of other COVID-19 restrictions in addition to the virtual learning order for schools. Here are just a few of them that take effect at 12 a.m. Monday. Bars and entertainment venues are now capped at 25% capacity. They can still continue to serve people outdoors. Buffets, salad bars, and karaoke are banned for now. Gyms are also now limited to 25% indoor capacity. Religious services are capped at 75% capacity, and you will now need a negative COVID test in order to visit someone at a long-term care facility. There are more restrictions besides these. We have the complete list at our website, WRTV.com. And Indiana has shattered its previous record of new COVID-19 cases. The State Department of Health reports 6,654 new cases. 51 more Hoosiers died with COVID-19, bringing the total number of deaths to 4,563. Since March, more than 230,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus, and more than 3 million tests have been administered in Indiana.
New at 7 o'clock tonight, top doctors at IU Health say they are alarmed with the way COVID-19 is spreading in our state. And one doctor I spoke with says things are out of control. IU Health medical centers around the state are reporting an uptick in COVID-19 patients, and it has become a strain on staff and resources. Today, there are 278 COVID-positive patients at IU medical facilities around the state. We've also learned roughly 200 nurses are either sick or in quarantine right now, which is also creating a strain on the remaining medical staff. Doctors have learned much more about COVID and believe everyone still needs to take the pandemic seriously. That means wearing masks, social distancing, and washing your hands.
I'm alarmed. I think everyone should be alarmed. This is a scary, sneaky disease that can spread silently through populations until it hits someone who gets exceedingly sick.
In the spring, there was a run on ventilators, but if there isn't any encouraging news in all this, IU Health doctors say now, in addition to using ventilators, they are using other effective methods of providing oxygen to patients. Tonight at 11, you'll hear about the plans for storing the arriving vaccines, the timeline, and words of caution from IU Health about the upcoming holidays. Frontline workers are starting to feel the impact of more patients coming into hospitals. At Franciscan Health in Indianapolis, the amount of patients has increased significantly. 2 weeks ago, Franciscan Health Indianapolis was averaging 22 to 27 COVID patients a day. This week, it's up to around 45 a day. One nurse who works in the intensive care unit is keeping an eye on 10 COVID patients who are at high risk. He says at the beginning of the pandemic, staff hit fatigue very quickly, but now they are helping each other out and stepping up when assistance is needed.
Everybody's really stepped up and picked up extra shifts. And the hospital just in general has been really good about making sure that we do have, proper protective equipment for our own protection and safety.
Frontline workers say right now it's vital that people continue to wear masks and social distance so hospitals don't get overwhelmed by patients.
Kevin Gregory joins us now with a look at our forecast. And Kevin, it's gotten chilly.
It happens quickly. That sky is clear, and there are a few spots, Amanda. I'll point them out. Terre Haute, Muncie and Columbus about ready to lead the way into the 30s. Now, overall, it will be warmer tonight. I think we'll pick up some mid-level clouds as we go through the overnight hours. That'll keep temperatures from dropping off too much, but we're still talking about the 30s as we get started in the morning. 44 will be the temperature by noon. A few headlines for you. Lots of sunshine for your Friday, but that does not mean warmth. 49 for the high. We'll zero in on a big weekend of changes coming up.
Hiring Hoosiers is our initiative here at WRTV that focuses on connecting you to job opportunities and resources. It's a mission we are committed to, especially during the pandemic, as many Hoosiers face challenges due to restrictions. New AmeriCorps grants are helping relay graduate school diversity, the local teacher workforce. Dillian Williams graduated from Howard University. She says it wasn't until college that she had her first experience with educators that looked like her. She's now 4 months into her residency in Indianapolis with Relay Graduate School of Indiana.
One of the very first things that we did was we had to reflect on who our identity was, but also the identities of the students we teach. And we were really required to do that reflection and really figure out what it is, the culture that we are around, the culture that we come from, and how we can use those things to really build a community and a safe culture for our students.
Williams is working alongside a lead teacher at KIPP Indy Unite Elementary School in Indianapolis for her first year. After the 2-year program, she will have her Master's of Arts in Teaching. AmeriCorps is not only paying for a majority of her tuition, but she also earns a salary and stipend for everyday living expenses.
It's a Thanksgiving tradition in central Indiana, but this year the Moselle Sanders Foundation is especially in need of your help. It's going to be tougher than ever for them to provide Thanksgiving dinners to those in need. Today, our partners at Radio 1 are holding a social media and radio-a-thon to raise money for the foundation. Our Lauren Casey spoke to Tina Cosby, the host of Community Connection on IAM 1310 and 92.7 The Light. She says that she has seen up close how the pandemic is causing more Hoosiers to be at risk of hunger.
You know, Lauren, and you all, you're such good news gathering partners with us, and your station has been over to the Urban League, has been at the Urban League every Tuesday at 10 a.m. We help put together a food and meal giveaway for people that have been especially hard hit by the pandemic. It started out in April as a one-off, and this past Tuesday, we marked our 30th consecutive week, because not only is there a need, not only is there an expressed need, there is a growing need. And so before, when we first started, we said, food and supplies for up to food boxes and freshly prepared meals for up to 500 families. Oh, that'll take all day to get. No. Yeah, I mean, most of the time we start at 10, and a lot of time between 11 and noon, it's gone. Everything that we have to offer is gone. So when you look at the need, I mean, need is just, I guess we could put it all in all caps. The need is not only there, but it's growing, it's increasing. And the interesting thing about this dinner is, last year, and I think I have it correct, we distributed, the Moselle Sanders Foundation distributed, I say we because I feel like we are here too as well. But anyway, we helped the Moselle Sanders Foundation distribute over 40,000 meals, 40,000. And with COVID and how things are going to be, we don't know. I was on the phone late last night talking with one of the board members, and there's that uncertainty as to how we're going to get it done. How is our outreach going to be? We know that we're going to reach tens of thousands of people again. We just don't know the number, but we know we need to increase that number if at all possible. So that's why today's social media radiothon is so very important, because you're social, I'm social, we're virtual. And, like I was saying before, maybe before we went on, that's our culture right now. So we have to appeal to our culture and say, hey, culture, come on, help us out, because, there are going to be so many people in need this Thanksgiving, not just this Thanksgiving, but every day, but especially the one day that we set aside.
And of course, much thanks to Tina Cosby for joining us. Radio 1's social media and radiothon for Moselle Sanders continues until midnight tonight. You can check it out at all of their radio stations, as well as their Facebook pages and other social media.
The Thanksgiving holiday will most definitely be non-traditional for the majority of American families. Coming up, the things you should do right now before making those holiday plans. Welcome back. Thanksgiving is just 2 weeks from today, and there are concerns the holiday could fuel the most dangerous COVID-19 spike yet. More than half of Americans say they'll travel for the holiday, despite warnings from experts and CDC guidelines that recommend celebrating Thanksgiving virtually or only with people in your own household. Experts say if you do plan on seeing your loved ones, start preparing today.
We actually need to be implementing those now. 14-day quarantine, and that is starting right now. That someone needs to be putting themselves in isolation from others, and then testing.
The CDC also recommends wearing masks, staying 6 feet apart, and eating outdoors if possible. If you'll be indoors, experts say keep windows open, make sure the air filters are clean, and consider investing in air purifiers. Also, check on any travel restrictions as places including Chicago and New York enforce testing and quarantine requirements for visitors.
It's now been a week since President Trump last delivered public remarks on the election or any other topic, but the Biden-Harris team continues to move forward with their transition, even if the Trump administration maintains some key roadblocks. Without the Trump administration's acknowledgement of Biden's win, key transition elements like funding and classified briefings are stalled. A few Senate Republicans have said Biden and his team should receive those intelligence briefings, but the House Republican leaders wouldn't say.
Not president right now. Don't know if he'll be president January 20th, but whoever is, will get the information.
Meanwhile, Indianapolis native Ron Klain has been announced as the incoming Biden White House chief of staff. Klain led the Obama administration's Ebola response, notable amid the escalating COVID-19 pandemic.
Rain and possibly some thunderstorms on Saturday night. We'll talk about some other big events for the weekend and beyond coming up.
It's so hard because the energy of live music, you want them right there. Even when we play shows, I want you to be up as close as you can. But we just have to realize that for right now, we have to just change what we're doing.
COVID restrictions are impacting how musicians and artists like Indiana native Clayton Anderson perform and make a living. WRTV's Cornelius Hawker spoke to Anderson about the challenges he and so many other performers are facing and his plan to keep making music as the pandemic continues.
Back in March, when the pandemic changed everything, musicians across the country canceled concerts, but found other ways to connect with fans.
We streamed for, I think, like 8-9 weeks straight, and luckily, we were very blessed to have some very nice fans tune in and help get us through that time.
The live streams did well for Clayton Anderson and his bandmates. And then, once it looked like the spread of the virus was under control, they got the chance to do some outdoor shows.
If we were playing outside, we did really well. We had a lot of people show up, but everyone was spread out and they could have their space.
But as it gets colder and COVID-19 cases continue to rise, Clayton tells me they more than likely won't be performing indoors anytime soon, especially as major cities reinstate restrictions. Despite booking an indoor concert over the summer, Clayton isn't sure fans are ready for the crowds that come along with live music.
We struggled to sell 500 tickets back in the summer, and I thought we'd easily do that. So people are definitely still nervous and afraid to come inside. And I don't want to, I had the virus. It was not fun. I don't want anybody to get it. I don't want anyone to show up and risk themselves.
Clayton doesn't want to tell anyone how to live their lives, but if you like live music,
I think wearing a mask would be good. Just, be responsible, try to social distance yourself.
And he hopes fans across the country listen to guidance and advice from medical professionals so everyone can eventually get back to enjoying music together.
Yes, I ran where I belong.
Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, WRTV.
And thank you, Cornelius. Indianapolis is sparkling right now across central Indiana. Skies are clear. Temperatures cold once again. We're headed into the 30s, but should stay above the freezing mark in most locations. I still think it will drop below freezing in a few. I want to jump ahead. We skipped Friday for a minute. It will be dry, cool, and sunny. We'll come back to that. But 51 Saturday. Temperature peaks early Sunday in the morning hours, then is steady through the day. But our best chance for rain and even some thunderstorms will be Saturday night. Potential from Saturday evening to Sunday morning of 1/4 to 1/2 inch rainfall amounts along and ahead of a cold front that will sweep through. Look at the dramatic lines on this map. And so around the area of low pressure up near Lake Superior, those lines are what we call isobars, or lines of equal pressure. The closer they are together, the greater the pressure gradient or change in pressure between Lake Superior and out in the Rockies. That's what will create our wind gusts of 40 miles per hour, especially over the northern half of the state. They pick up Saturday afternoon and evening. They peak Saturday night and then continue very strong as we go into Sunday. And again, temperatures won't be warming up during the day Sunday. They'll be holding steady, if not falling some. This evening, temperatures are in the 40s, 47 in Indy, warmer than Greenfield by 6 degrees. That's the big city effect. 46 in Sullivan, Bedford, down in Lawrence County at 45. A few spots will drop close to the freezing mark tonight. Peru and Richmond, 34 for the overnight low. Highs tomorrow with sunshine, still only manage the upper 40s in most locations. A nice night for Friday night football. You'll definitely need the winter coat. It won't be too windy, but temperatures will be in the 30s. There are your highs on Saturday. And I should say afternoon highs, because temperatures will actually warm Saturday night into Sunday morning. There's the beginning of the rain, 1 to 7. 7 to 11 picks up in intensity a little bit and then sweeps to the east. We may have a thunderstorm Saturday night ahead of that cold front. We'll definitely have lots of wind for the second half of the weekend. Temperatures down into the 30s on Monday morning. Now, Monday and Tuesday, dry and cool at 49. Then we're back into the low 50s and then upper 50s, closer to 60 by the time we get to Thursday of next week. Have a good evening.
The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade will look entirely different this year due to the pandemic. More than 3 million fans usually pack the 2.5-mile parade route. This year, there will be no fans, and the famous floats will only float for one city block for the only on TV event. There will be 4 Broadway performances, but all will be taped in advance. There will still be celebrity appearances, plus a performance by the world-famous Rockettes and a visit from Santa. The parade usually requires 8,000 to 10,000 workers. This year, the event will only need 1,500. When live music returns, you might need a ticket and a negative COVID test. Ticketmaster is developing a plan to work with medical information groups to require fans prove they tested negative within 72 hours of the event. Fans would need to allow their test results to be shared with the medical firms and with Ticketmaster. The medical firms would verify the test result status for fans and approve them to enter the show. Opponents of the idea say it raises medical privacy issues and the issue of false negative tests allowing an infected person into a large gathering.
Collins Dictionary has named lockdown its word of the year. It's more than half of its shortlisted top 10 words are related to the coronavirus pandemic, including the words coronavirus and pandemic themselves. The British Dictionary defines lockdown as, quote, the imposition of stringent restrictions on travel, social interaction, and access to public spaces. It says it chose the word because it is a unifying experience for billions of people around the world in the battle against coronavirus. Also on the short list, BLM, the abbreviation for Black Lives Matter. It probably shouldn't come as a surprise that turkeys would be a little cranky this time of year. Look at this. This turkey is accused of exhibiting some pretty foul behavior. Residents in a Boston neighborhood say the bully bird, look at it, is terrorizing them on a daily basis. Some people have been chased, even physically attacked.
And he jumped at my arm, and like turkeys have spurs on the back of their claws, and he nicked me with it. I finally had to hit him with my purse to get him to leave me alone.
The turkey is still on the loose tonight. Residents say they hope this reign of terror will end before Thanksgiving when they sit down, dare we say it, to their turkey dinners.
Okay, I got to go real quick. I'm just on the line with 1-800-Butterball, guys. I bet you that turkey was using some foul language as well. All right, temperatures, they're going to be in the 40s during the day tomorrow. We'll start in the 30s, but 44 at noon, 48 or 49 for the afternoon high. All right, don't get your feathers all ruffled over that.
I'd be interested to hear what Butterball advised.
Good night.
1-800-Butterball.